Yeah, Eddie, you are on.
It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, who will be our facilitator for this weekend intensive workshop. In the struggle to achieve liberation and reach higher consciousness, Satsang is a valuable ally. But unfortunately, in my experience, there have been very few teachers who have correctly understood the meaning of Satsang, and even fewer who have the knowledge and wisdom to teach others the requisite methods. Fortunately for us, Sanjeev is one of those teachers. Moreover, he is a pleasant and skilled teacher who endeavors to share his knowledge of satsang with all who are willing to learn. Sanjeev is the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ramashram Satsang Mathura, and the creator of a new yoga method that you will learn this weekend. Sanjeev's grandmother, father, and uncles were all enlightened beings who served the Ramashram Satsang organization. And although Sanjeev was raised like any other normal Indian child, he had the benefit of observing the conduct and actions of his family members. Undoubtedly, their behavior and activity became Sanjeev's early teachers and contributed significantly to his character development. At the age of 18, he began to practice satsang methods for self-realization, and to date, that amounts to over 40 years. When Sanjeev and his wife arrived in the United States, he was not obligated to serve the organization. Nonetheless, he conducted satsang for satsangis who had relocated from India to the United States. Later, driven by his charitable mission to spread satsang globally, he began programs for English speakers. Assisted by some Ramashram satsang families, he continues to innovate by bringing satsang into our lives of all aspirants around the world. Presently, he lives as a householder, faithfully carrying out his husband, father, and IT executive duties. Yet, he continuously travels throughout the United States and India, managing satsangs. So now, please welcome Mr. Sanjeev Kumar.
You on?
Sanjeev?
Yeah, waiting for you on. Oh, maybe. Yuan, can you bring, I don't know why I don't see the layout here. Oh, okay. So sorry for the technical difficulties, but welcome everyone. This is, a new format that we're trying. And, interestingly, I've been working on this for last 3 months. The probably many, many years in the making. Today, basically, we will, talk a little bit about satsang, what it is, in the backdrop of yoga philosophy, and then practice satsang with music, which is also new for this English session. And then we will wrap up with Q&A and panel discussion. So we have, at the core is still the practice. And the practice was established almost a century ago in 1930 by Guru Maharaj, incidentally, my grandfather, who established Ramashram Satsang Mathura to basically help everyone who wants to get to what he calls the ocean of peace. This whole thing is structured in a way that peace, light, and love is achieved, as the target state for anyone who practices this. And interestingly, today, it's also, Yuan, can you take to the next slide? That's Guru Maharaj's guru, Lalaji Maharaj, as everybody referred to him, Sri Ramchandraji. He actually got enlightened by his guru at an early age of 18. And what's very interesting is that there were no scriptures read and not even any verbal instructions delivered. And just through the contact of his guru, he achieved that at that early age. And that is the essence of satsang. Just we call it here the group's collective energy. But once you are part of satsang, you pretty much imbibe the uplifting energy. The transcendental energy just takes you to that, land where peace, love, and light is in abundance. So essentially that's, what we will do, we'll practice. But what I thought was that to start with, let's talk a little bit about, where does satsang fit in the overarching yoga philosophy? And, Maharishi Patanjali, who is also said to be the father of yoga philosophy, he actually established a framework which is called Ashtang Yoga. Basically, Ashtang means 8 limbs. So 8 limbs of yoga that he describes, if we look at those 8 limbs, so think of it this way, that there are 2 aspects that I wanted to highlight, or maybe 3. So one, these are not 8 phases or steps. These are 8 limbs. Like, our body has limbs. So yoga, that anything that could be referred to as yoga needs to have these 8 aspects. And another thing Guru Maharaj emphasized, that like every body part kind of, it grows together. So it's not like in sequence you will do these things. They pretty much come together to take you to the level of higher consciousness that you need to reach through yoga. One of the things that, we will talk about in the panel discussion, one of the questions that was asked of me once was like, oh, I thought yoga is basically, asanas and pranayams, basically physical and breathing exercises. And so I wanted to bring this up as the backdrop of today's discussion that, there are 8 limbs, and all that makes up, you know, it, to get, to get to the state of yoga. Now, let me just pause there for a moment and talk about how Guru Maharaj defined yoga. So the true meaning of yoga. The so he said that the word yoga literally means union or merger or becoming one with another entity. So it's a state attained when we direct our complete attention and concentration to something that we truly desire. So Guru Maharaj further explains that yoga is natural to all of us. We could find example of yoga in everyday life, including like trivial things like eating, drinking, reading, listening, speaking, etc. So successful accomplishment of any of these tasks requires complete concentration and focus. Once you achieve a deep concentration in any of those tasks, that's essentially yoga. So what does that mean? Like one thing that I can relate to very well. So if you say you're reading a book and you get so deep into it that you can't hear anybody, people are talking and it doesn't matter to you, you are deep in it, right? So whenever you lose awareness of everything around you, and then you are in a state of yoga with that activity. So when we get completely immersed in any activity and lose awareness of everything else around it, around us, then we are in state of yoga. So at that time, we have like literally become one with that activity. So that's one piece. I wanted to put that up front. Now let's talk about the 8 limbs, right? So I want to talk about the first 4, which is the yam, niyam, asana, and pranayam. So yam is essentially the traits or behaviors that you want to give up, like things that, you have to restrain yourself from. And then traits that you want to acquire would be the niyamas, and so 84 asanas or physical poses that have been described in yoga, and then pranayam, which is breathing exercises. So if you really look at it, when there are these other 4 like pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi, which lot less people talk about. But 4 of these I call as inner yoga. So the inner yoga aspect is the focus of satsang. So, now the question is why Guru Maharaj chose to focus on these 4, or sometimes referred to as top 4. The reason is that if you're meditating and if you're controlling your mind, the immediate effect would be that the behavior would start changing literally effortlessly. And if you are meditating and say today we will do the practice between the silent meditation that we will do and the prior music, so transition in and transition out with music, 40 minutes, sitting still for 40 minutes is like, until and unless you have some physical strength. So the asanas become part of your meditation practice almost inherently. And when you're in deep meditation, your breathing also gets, almost toned, and that's your pranayam. So the thing is, there are multiple ways you can tone your body and your breathing and work on your behavior and then get into meditation, or you start with meditation and the resulting effect will come on the other side. So just to go back on just pure definitions, so yam is some of the behaviors. We'll talk a little bit. So 5 yamas have been defined in the Yoga Sutras, and niyam, another 5 that, traits that you want to acquire. Physical exercises, 84 of those. And then breathing exercises, several of those have been, and then we will talk about pratyahar, which is nothing but, changing the focus from looking outside to looking inwards. And dharana, which is basically, what are we trying to manifest? What's our object of concentration? Extremely important point when you meditate. And then getting, into deeper meditation, where you started with an object of concentration, but then when you get deeper, so that's dhyan, which is a deeper meditation, and samadhi is the resulting higher consciousness. And we will, in other sessions, we will go deeper into the different types of samadhis. So if we just look at like 5 yamas are like, first, let's give up jealousy and malice. And why? Because you want to focus more on the love and compassion. So give up and refrain from jealousy and malice, and that will give space for love and compassion. So that's the first, yeah. And then is truthfulness. So do not lie, right? And get away from deceit and things like that. Be honest. Now, both in thoughts and action. So that is the second thing. And here I'd like to emphasize again that when we are trying to be truthful, trying to be honest, until and unless you have inner strength, which you get through meditation, if you don't have that inner strength, the ability to be truthful would be very limited. So that is why these things all go together. Then the third yama is do not steal. And that, again, another very, very important rule to, so do not steal. So that's another thing that you want to give up. The fourth yama is to conserve energy. So instead of, dissipating the energy, conserve it and direct it towards finding peace and happiness within. So that's the fourth one. The fifth yama is non-possession. So take only what you need, keep only what you need, and let go, so don't be hoarding things, so that's the yama piece. And then if we go to niyams, so niyams, essentially mean the rules that you need to have, and so basically cleanliness. And what that refers to is cleanliness of the body, mind, and spirit, and purity. So if you want to acquire higher consciousness, the purity of thought, the cleanliness, you know, of the body, of inside and out, as well as the surroundings. I think that that's what this is talking about. And then being content, refraining from greed and desire. And so that's, you know, sometimes we feel that it's something that's not that difficult, but when we look at our actions and our thoughts, being content is, you know, the culture doesn't really help us do that. Then comes self-discipline. Self-discipline, you know, I think this is one of the things that most of the yogis, you know, tapasya used to be the word where most of the yogis would spend a lot of time and effort in, and that would help control the mind eventually. But what Guru Maharaj did was kind of flipped it, is like focus on controlling the mind, and then the ability to endure hardships and strengthening the mind would automatically come to you. The fourth niyam is self-study. So basically, how do you, you know, spend enough time to know yourself? You know, so reading texts and scriptures and basically lives of and experiences of saints and all that. So keeping, you know, and this also is like keeping good company. That's part of that too. So how do you start understanding yourself is, you know, either through books or through people who have achieved that state could help you do that. And then eventually, I think the fifth niyam that Maharishi Patanjali talks about is surrendering to the Supreme and you know, developing a deep and trusting relationship there. And then, you know, asanas, you know, everybody understands pranayam and asanas. But one thing, you know, so toning the body to do good meditative, to develop a good meditative practice, it's important to have a toned body. And pranayam, which is breathing exercises, and, you know, if somebody is thinking like, okay, so how does that relate to, you know, developing a meditative practice? Interestingly, that calms your mind, reduces your worries and anxieties, improves your focus and attention. You know, sometimes we have this brain fog that can be cleared out through that. Increases our energy, brings, you know, positivity. It also boosts the immune system, rejuvenates the body and the mind, and you know, so all the advantages here that I have talked about, that also come through meditation as well. So now, quickly, I would go through the four aspects, which I think when I come to describe like how to meditate, which I'll do shortly. So pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. So when we practice, we're trying to go actually into deeper meditation. Now, pratyahar is like taking your attention away from your surroundings and starting to look inwards. That you know, is extremely important. So, you know, so much so that it is said that without mastering pratyahar, it's difficult to be successful in the rest of the limbs of yoga. So this ability to bring back the mind from wherever it is caught up in, can't be mastered in a day. It can take months, years of practice. So our mind's inherent nature is to remain engaged in whatever the world has to offer. So when we try to change that and control our mind, it manages to escape at the slightest opportunity. And we often find that mind has ventured away from the desired destination, and to bring it back to where it ought to be is pratyahar. So what pratyahar is basically looking inwards. Now, how do you do that? There are two ways, easy ways to do that. So either you find a person who has been there, done that. So they can help you, and you know, satsang is all about that, basically learning from someone who, the definition of word satsang is being in the presence of positive energy. So people who get an opportunity to be with someone who has, a deep state of lasting peace, these people affect everyone who meets them. And basically, so that's one way. The second way that we should talk a little more about is, you can become an observer of your mind. So let your mind go wherever it wants to go. Wait for it to get tired, and then, like you tame a wild horse, like that, the same way you, basically. So this is like how, if you want to saddle a wild horse, you let it run. So the same way you would, so when you meditate, you keep observing your mind till it starts to, get tired of running around, and gets focused on your object of, concentration. So that brings us to the sixth limb, which is dharana, which is, I would call the manifestations or object of concentration. So here what we do is basically, think of transcendental light, like we are in the presence of, the cosmic energy. And that becomes our focus. So rather than, people say like, okay, I want to manifest some worldly things, money and things like that. Some people would say, oh, I want to manifest gratitude or love. So what Guru Maharaj said was that at the end, all these things are important because, they are getting the energy from somewhere. So why don't we just go to the source of all energy? And that cosmic energy is what we are trying to manifest here. So dharana is about, imagining that you are in front of this amazing, uplifting energy, and at cosmic scale, something that we cannot fathom, but let's imagine that we are in the presence of transcendental energy. And this is in form of light, and it's entering our heart and distributing throughout our body, and that we are becoming completely immersed in this light. So now this is what we want to focus on from all the thoughts that we have. So initially we will transition in, because you can't just immediately switch to such a state. So we'll have some music. So while the music is going on, just try to get into the state where you imagine that you are in this presence of this transcendental energy, and it's in the form of light. That light is entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're getting totally energized with this light, and you're getting completely immersed in this. So that's our manifestation. That's our object of concentration. And that's what we are imagining. Now, mind, as it works, it will go away. And when you realize, okay, it has wandered away somewhere else, just bring it back. And that is pratyahara. And when you are in the deep meditation, you forget who you are, where you are, and you are just, you know, that deep meditation would sometimes bring you to places where you haven't been before. You might forget what you actually were imagining. So that deep meditation is where we want to be, right? And all that actually brings us to samadhi, which is nothing but the resulting higher consciousness. And in these sessions, I could tell you, like, even if it's, sometimes you get a glimpse of higher consciousness, higher awareness, but most of the people who develop a practice, it just becomes second nature. It just feeling connected, feeling the presence, feeling uplift, that imbibing this uplifting energy is just naturally happening. So I'll repeat. So a couple of important things as we are now transitioning into the practice. So music will start, and you will continue to think about this transcendental light that is in front of you, that's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one, completely immersed in this light. Now, mind will wander away. You will bring it back to this thought. There are two key things that you need to keep in mind: that every time your body moves, your mind gets distracted. So your mind moves with it. So you have to bring it back to this thought and this thought alone. And, so keeping a like a natural but relaxed posture. So a relaxed posture where your bodily movement would be reduced for next 20, 30 minutes, that's an important piece. So sit in a relaxed posture, try to keep spine a little straight, a chin a little inwards, and eyes lightly closed. Because if eyes are open, the sensory input is going in. So relaxed posture, eyes lightly closed, and then think of this transcendental light that is in front of us, entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we are getting completely immersed in this light. So we will start with some music, then music will fade away, and we'll meditate in silence, and then music will start again. So there is some transition in and transition out to get us into a deeper meditation. So let's start now. Okay. So now we will actually continue to talk a little more about satsang, but in a more interactive way. This is also a time to ask questions, and I'll also ask some questions of some of the panelists here. So Yuan, can you pull the panel together? And I think if we can get Sharon and Neil and Anurag also in there. Just Sharon and Neil just wanted to ask if you have any questions, or at least share with us how the session went.
Yeah, this session for me was pretty good. It was kind of, I mean, I've been practicing meditating using an app on my phone, like 10% Happier. I just discovered that app. I've been watching some of the videos on there, just kind of strategies to kind of meditate, but I'd never like meditated for over 20 minutes. And like 10% Happier, they're like 10-minute videos, usually up to 20 minutes. And so yeah, it was kind of hard for me to just keep my mind from swaying away after like the 20-minute mark. But I it was I think it was beneficial for me if I can like keep up a practice every couple of days or every week or something like that, where I'm meditating for 30-40 minutes and I can control my mind and not let it sway to the material world or towards things that are coming up in my future that I'm kind of worried about, that kind of thing. Then I think it would, yeah, the session was beneficial for me for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think the whole goal here is to leverage the collective energy here, the group energy, and that makes meditation a lot. It works like a support system, makes your meditations go longer, more effortless, and deeper as well. So yeah, welcome on board. Yeah, we have another session in a couple of actually maybe yeah, tomorrow same time we'll have that too, and there is one I think 7:30 I think UK time. Sharon, would you share how it went? So Anurag, what was you have been so we today is actually Dada Guru Maharaj, like my grandfather's guru's birthday, and Basant Panchami. So it's a pretty nice day to kick off a whole new format here.
Yeah, so happy Basant Panchami to all, and it is nice you use that occasion for us to learn everything, because we worship Saraswati Ji and she represents knowledge. So I think it's a good day for you to pivot to something different. Yeah, the music kind of helped me reduce my distractions. I had to go back and lower the volume on my PC because I had it set up high to listen to what you were saying, and then I realized it was coming too strong. So I lowered that, and then maybe the music is also kind of a distraction a little bit, but it helps your mind from wandering less into other issues. When I
Yeah,
hear
yes. So the music is like for transition in and transition out. As you said, like it helps in setting the mode and getting you to a slightly less distracted mode. But you're right. I think when you are, I mean, during the music itself, you can get to deeper meditation than you are slightly distracted. That's true too. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
it reminded me of another practice that I was in, and I'm still involved with, is when you use the mantra, it's the same thing.
Mhm.
You chant the mantra and then you're listening to that and the sound, and then you're supposed to stop. And when
Right.
you stop, then you suddenly realize that you have a deeper perception of silence, which you don't have before you start the meditation. And I noticed the same thing happened is when the music stopped, sorry, then you go into a little deeper understanding of what the silence is. You can kind of hear a ringing noise in your ears because, suddenly that sound is gone away and your ears are trying to perceive that. And so it's like it's another strange transition that happens when you stop that. But yeah, like everything else, it takes time. And just to answer Neil's question, everybody joins meditation for the same reason. You're trying to calm your mind. And like everything else, just like you're building up muscles in sports or physical activity, this one also takes a lot of effort. The more effort you put in, you get to a deeper place faster. I'm not saying you reach a place where you stop everything, but I just think you go to a deeper place. That's it. And the depth depends on how much time and effort you're willing to put in.
Yeah. So at this point, I was thinking, Anita ji, if you could describe how satsang helps us in general, what the benefits are.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Sanjeev ji. This was a great session. It's been wonderful so far. Talking about the benefits just for a couple of minutes here. Of course, the benefit of any yoga practice ultimately is, as Sanjeev ji mentioned, union with the supreme energy, supreme consciousness, and that we all hope to achieve one day, and it will bring us bliss, peace, joy, love, as described. But that may seem like a distant goal to the beginner. All of us, it may seem like something which is far away, like an abstract concept almost. But I just wanted to emphasize that there are other tangible benefits along the way, right? As practice is started and practiced regularly, there are other benefits, and those benefits can be grouped into three broad categories. So the first one would be benefits to physical health. The second broad category would be benefits related to focusing one's mind, like the benefits one derives from just the mind being more focused. And then there is that third category of benefits that involves increasing, the joy and the bliss, the internal wisdom as it accumulates, and that would be over time. So talking first about the physical health benefits. So we all live very busy, stressed out lives, and the mind is being pulled in like, multiple directions at any given time. So just the simple act of sitting down with ourselves, peacefully looking inwards, focusing our thoughts inwards at one thing, and just trying to forget whatever is going around in our lives, that itself calms the mind and calms the body. So it drops the heart rate, drops the blood pressure, it decreases the levels of stress and anxiety. And the physical benefits of that are not to be denied, So physically, our body benefits from calming down, sitting down, and practicing as frequently as we can. The second bucket of benefits, so to speak, are derived from, the act of focusing our mind. So just as it was mentioned, we get better at whatever we practice. So if you practice a sport, we get better at it. So if we practice focusing our mind on one single thought, and try not to focus on other thoughts, or if the mind wanders away, we bring it back to that one thought we are focusing on in a yoga practice. So that has benefits in anything we are trying to do. So the mind, the faculties become more enhanced. Just practicing, focusing better helps us in whatever we are doing through the day. So if it's a student, it helps them study better. Maybe they get their work done in a shorter time because they are more focused. If we are at work, we can work more efficiently, tackle more complex projects and get that done better because now our mind is, focusing better, working efficiently. So that in itself leads to a better life experience because we just get better at doing everything a little more effectively and efficiently. So these kinds of benefits, start early on and can be experienced. And overall, yes, we are all trying to achieve that target state of the peace, love, and light. But even along the way, we can reap tangible benefits. And that can help us, in our day-to-day lives and enhance our experience every day. Sanjeev ji.
Yeah. Yeah, just a reminder, and on the benefits is always beneficial. And coming from a doctor, it's even more so. So before I go to Eddie and OG, is Olivia still here? So yeah, OG, if you could share what your experience has been so far with satsang.
We can't hear you.
Yeah. Sorry. So while OG, you connect, so Eddie, if you could talk a little bit about, some of the aspects of how yoga and satsang are connected.
You are talking on mute too, Eddie.
Mentioned it before in the past. We're going to touch upon those things today. And when we look at the 8 limbs, Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga, the innermost aspects of that are the concentration, meditation, and samadhi. And what we find is that when we start at this level, we achieve what you spoke about today in terms of yam and niyam. And the reason for that is, which are sort of the yoga, you generate light, and then the hope is that when you start to turn inwards, that you then use your concentration to direct that light to some specific energy center. In the case of, of Rama from Satsang, we focus, we would focus that light on the heart. The only thing different about what we do in terms of our satsang is generate light as it comes that trillion our it then spread our entire come that we assimilate that we merge into it in a sense that leads us forward and onward of samadhi. But yam and niyam are important because satsang us to increase our consciousness to these higher states, and then also we experience the peace, the love, and the light that we talked about. We feel good, but how do we maintain that when we come out of that? Finish our meditation and we come out of that, we want to maintain that good feeling. I mean, it's pleasurable, it feels good. We want to stay in that state. But when we're distracted by worldly thoughts, our behaviors and our conduct are negative, we then drain that energy and it pulls us out of that high state of consciousness. So if we were in some way to be able to practice a high level of yam and niyam, we could maintain those states that we experience during meditation for longer periods of time, because that is the ultimate goal. When we maintain those states throughout the day, throughout the week, and throughout the year, then we can consider ourselves very accomplished at satsang and approaching the state of yoga, where we achieve samadhi. And so just to debate, our satsang, generate the light, use that light to help us meditate, and then merge with it and reach a higher state called samadhi, where we don't necessarily practice yam and niyam in the system. It is a part of the 8 limbs of yoga, and it does benefit us in the practice of our satsang.
So, OG, is your connection back?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'll say I'm new to meditation and especially satsang. And one of the things I experienced when I started practicing with the guidance of Sanjeev is attention to be able to focus, as AJ had mentioned, especially when it came to work. And I would say that, there was a lot of issues, distractions when you are at work. But when you are able to focus on a particular task, the same way you are able to focus on the light, you are able to achieve more. And the other aspect, there are many benefits, but the other one that you become aware is you don't react to issues. You kind of become better and respond to issues that occur or tasks that occur. And in many cases, the response is the appropriate response, is not where you're just reacting to issues and they keep issues keep happening. So with meditation, I'll say that my reaction to task and my response to task has greatly improved. Those are the few. There are many that can be mentioned, but I think AJ summarized most of it.
Yeah, I really, um, find that OG has very quickly picked up a few things and highlighted in one of the first few sessions that the behavior is changing, and I'm like, that's the way to go. That's what the impact of satsang should be. Luz, are you there? Just wanted to see if you want to add anything to how satsang is going for you.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone. It's so great to see you. And today's meditation session was wow. I really loved it. It was so wonderful. So doing satsang with this particular group on Saturdays has become sort of an anchor for me. I definitely, as somebody else was talking about, we all experience the stress of the week. And, during the week, I try to meditate and it's very helpful. I feel that at this stage of my meditations, it definitely has an effect on my anxiety levels immediately. Like, even just 10-minute meditation can really make all of the difference for me. It helps to calm me down. It helps me to recalibrate. It helps me to feel, ready to go back in and kind of with a good perspective, a better perspective. So I feel like meditation is absolutely essential in my life. And this group helps, just it's nice to do it in a community. So like during the week, I do it alone. But, and I like the aspects of this group that I like. I love learning about the 8 limbs of yoga. I mean, I've learned about different limbs in different parts of my life through this study. I started kind of meditating more. I started getting into meditation in like 2014, and I started going to sort of like meditation groups in person back then. And then I started going to ashrams. And I went to a Buddhist monastery once, and I stayed there for the weekend. That was a really great experience because it challenged me. I mean, today we had like a 30 to 40-minute meditation, and I'm able to do that. I can't say that my mind doesn't wander, but when I did that Buddhist monastery stay, we did something quite similar, and that was like my first time. We would have to kind of meditate for 40 minutes in complete silence and in complete stillness. And that's actually really challenging, especially for someone who had never done that before, but so wonderful in terms of like honing in on that discipline, which is so important. My experience today, and I'm a little bit afraid to talk about it because it's not exactly what, we're trying to aim for. But what I really loved about today was, first of all, I love music. I love sensory things. I know that we're kind of striving for more kind of a type of meditation that doesn't rely on sensory things, but I love music as a way to get myself into the meditation and even to be in the meditative state. Actually, music is a beautiful kind of I would even say divine celestial tool to help us reach that. And so I welcomed the music, but I also welcomed the silence. It was just all, I think somebody else, another panelist mentioned, it helped us to almost appreciate more that beautiful silence after the music, when the music stopped. And, I felt like I was able to journey a little bit further inward without the distraction of the music, however divine it is. And I guess for me, my mind wandered, but it didn't wander to things like, oh, I'm worried about this. It was more like I had little mini insights about things, and they were positive, and I felt like I was having a little sort of beautiful party within myself. Like I felt loads of gratitude for all the blessings that I have in my life. So that was one thought that emerged. So the distractions were not of the usual kind. They were more like, positive and uplifting. So I just love today's meditation session. And I, as usual, I appreciate everyone's extremely wise and insightful feedback. And thank you all. Thank you so much, Sanjeev, for bringing this to us. And that,
Yeah, so this, today being Guru's birthday, Lalaji Maharaj's birthday. So I thought like bringing this new format together, for everyone. And Luz, I think you, as usual, kind of described it in a way that it was music to the ears. So I think the music, the format, some, and discussions, all that helps the practice. So interestingly, after 3 hours, there is another session. The idea is that the entire weekend we spend, quality time, so there are 3 sessions over the weekend so that the weekend becomes immersed in this experience, right? So an immersive experience, an immersive weekend. That actually is also not a very new concept. Guru Maharaj started a 3-day event in multiple cities in India way back when. And the idea was, again, take a break, get immersed, and feel that, feel the way you should feel anyway. So in 3 hours, we will have another session. The link will remain the same, so you can just use the same link. So it'll be like 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and UK time would be 7:30 p.m. So yeah, looking forward to, the whole thing is like, we all think that, the group energy definitely works. But to me, I think this whole thing is about developing an individual practice. And the group supports that end goal. So, when you immerse yourself, even for a weekend, into this, it just builds a deeper and more robust practice. So that's what these events are supposed to mean for us, right? Yeah, so we are also today launching a YouTube channel so that the content, what we discuss, can be shared more widely, and especially for us. I mean, it's meant for people who really want to, look for some nuggets to help their practice, right? And those videos will also be shared on your inbox through a newsletter. So you can sign up for that, or just email me and I'll sign you up for that. Himanshi, if you can put my email in the chat as well. So there are links to the newsletter, links to YouTube, and yep. So in 3 hours, we'll be back here. So anything, Eddie, before we wrap up?
No, Sanjeev, I don't have any additional thing to add.
Yep. So looking forward to everybody joining back at 2:30. Yeah, it was amazing. I think it's a amazing occasion, and I'm very thankful. I'm seriously very, very, very thankful, sincerely thankful to everybody who participated. This for 3 months, I've been just thinking about today, and for many, many years, I have been thinking how we can make some of these, right now they're all online, but how can we make them more engaging, more deeper, both in terms of experience and content. So working on the content aspect pretty heavily as well. And so see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.